Hey guys, welcome back again to my another tutorial on C. And this tutorial will again be on the programs now. So let's get started. This is our first question, and the question says we'll have to find the smallest integer out of the several integers. Okay, this part is very easy. Now here's a slightly tricky part. It says assume that the first value read specifies the number of values remaining. That is, for example, if I say the first value I enter is 3, and what that means is there are three more values, like he'll enter 3, 2 and 1. Okay, there will be three more values remaining, uh, from which he has to find the smallest number. I'll just um, show it to you, build and run it once. So this is enter the number of integers to be processed. Okay, if I put 3 as in my example, enter an integer, I'll put 30, then next integer 20, I'll put 0. So the smallest integer is 0. Okay, so now let's see how to do that. So in this we'll just take four variables as I've just defined it over here. One is all our integers. I've taken number, value, smallest and I. The logic of this is similar to that which we did to find the greatest number in the previous tutorial, I guess. So yeah, starting with this, we'll prompt the user to enter the int as the question said. uh, it'll just say it'll just specify the number of values or number of data that has to be processed further. Okay, so this will be that first number, and we'll just store it using scanf, and then we'll prompt the user to enter an integer. Now we'll assume that the entered integer is the smallest integer. Okay, now in the previous, like in the greatest, to find the greatest, we used the while loop. Here, to make you more familiar about for loop, I've used for loop here so that you get the feel and touch of the for loop. So uh, so now we already have the first number here, so I have just started the counter I from 2. Okay, it'll the maximum value of that will be till the number specified by the user. That is, in this case, in the example which I showed, that is 3. Okay, and we'll increment it, post increment it as shown. Then we'll prompt the user again to enter the value, enter the number. So we'll store it inside a variable value. We'll check whether the value is less than the smallest. If it is, then that value will become the smallest number. And finally we'll just print out the smallest number. I'll just build and run it again. For enter an integer, let's say a number 22, then third. Okay, whatever it is. Okay, so it is supposed to print out 22. Now I asked 4, so yeah, it is supposed to print 22, and that is what it is. So let me walk you through this one last time. Okay, now this was the first prompt which we asked the user to input. So this was the number which will just show that how many numbers are there furthermore. So we entered there are 4 numbers, so these are the 4 numbers which we entered. Then and the next we asked him to enter an integer. He entered an integer. We assume that this was the smallest integer, and then we come into the for loop where we come inside the for loop where we ask him to enter the another integer, next integer. He enters 345. Now in the if loop, it will check is the value, that is 345, is it less than the smallest was 22. Is 345 less than 22? No, it is not. So it will just come out of the loop. Then it will loop through this again. It will check is 3 less than or equal to 4. Yes, it is. So the condition is true. It will come back to this. It will ask for the next integer. It is 42. Sorry, 52. It will check again. Is it smaller than is the value less than the smallest? No. Then it will loop out. Similarly, it will continue depending on as many numbers you put. Okay. So I hope you understood this. So we'll move on to our next program, which is very exciting. I hope you like it. Okay, guys, this is the program which I was talking about, and I was, kind of excited about this. And in this, I'll just show you what we will do. We will be making this design pattern. Okay, a right angle triangle, then we'll flip it over, then again we'll invert it, and in the next one we'll flip it. Okay, so this is okay, it has quite a bit of length, but don't worry, I'll just walk you through this. So I'll just show you the diagram, and I'll explain it simultaneously. Okay, so there we go. We have just taken three variables. We have just defined it as row, column, and space. Row because we have to print it in the row, and column obviously for the columns. And when you program it, make sure your variable name uh, are in a way that you can make out that what the variable does. Okay, so so okay, we'll just get into this one. Now for the first triangle, we have taken a for loop. For we have initialized the row to 1, and we'll count it till 10. 10 is the, I can tell the width of the triangle. These are 10 stars. I didn't take a big one. I think this is okay. 10 stars are okay. Okay, um, we'll start it from 1. It'll go till 10. Okay, and we'll just increment it in the steps of 1. And then now uh, row is 1. 1 is obviously less than 10, so this for loop is satisfied. It'll come inside it, and here it'll check for the column. Column is 1, and column 1, is it less than or equal to 1? It is equal to 1, so this will be satisfied. It'll print out the single star, and it'll come out of the loop. It'll print out the next line, so we'll be over here now. Okay, so now it'll increment the row. Row is 2 now. 2 is obviously less than 10, so this for loop was true. It'll come inside this. Now column is 1. Is 1 less than 2? Yes, it is. It'll print 1 star. Then it'll come back again. Is 2 less than or equal to 2? It is equal to 2, so it'll print another star. So again it'll come out of this loop. It'll go to the next line, so we'll be over here now. So now our value of row will be 3. 3 is obviously less than 10, so this will be true. It will get into this loop. Now again column is 1, so 1 is obviously less than 3. It will print the first one. Then again 2 is less than 3. It will print the second one, and 3 is equal to 3, so it will print the third one. And in the same way it'll do this one. It'll finish all the 10 stars in this way. Now coming to the second triangle, as you can see, it is from 10 to 1. Okay, I'll just scroll it down. We are right over here. Okay, from 10 to 1. Now coming to this triangle, the inverted triangle, all we need 10 stars over here. So I've just initialized my row to 10, and I'll bring it down to 1. So from 10 to 1. Okay, so for now row is 10, and column is the same as the previous one. We have initialized it to 1. Is column less than or equal to 10? Yes, it is. So it will print out the first star. Then column will be incremented by 1. So is 2 less than or equal to 10? Yes, it is. So it'll print out the second one. Similarly, it'll print out all the 10 stars, and then the row will be decremented by 1. So row will now have the value of 9. Okay, so column is again 1. Is 1 less than 9? Yes, it is. It will print out the star, and again the 9 stars will print out these 9 stars. Okay, now you might be wondering, in all these two we didn't use this variable space we have used in the next two triangles. These two triangles we have used space because we need space over here. Okay, we just need these spaces, so we have used space for these two. I'll just tell you about these two now. So this is uh, the for loop for this one. Okay, again this is again from 10 to 1. Okay, now for this triangle, as I said, it goes from 10 to 1. The stars goes from count of 10 to 1. So what we do here is quite simple. We'll use another for loop which is for space. So we'll initialize the space to 1, then the space will go, we'll use a little bit of math over here. We just set the limit of space, as this is maximum 10 stars, so 10 minus the value of the row. Okay, it'll give the space. Okay, now here the value of row is 10. So is 10 greater than or equal to 1? Yes, of course it is. So it'll loop through this. This condition is true, so it'll come inside this. Now for this one, space we have initialized as 1. Space less than or equal to 10 minus row. The value of row is 10 now, so 1 is not less than or equal to 0, so it won't loop through this. It simply means that he's not going to give any space for this one, so therefore it'll just print out all the 10 stars over here, and it'll, it'll it just rejected from here that this was false, so it came here and it printed out all the 10 stars over here. Okay, it'll go to the new line. Then again, now it'll decrement the row to 9. So is 9 greater than or equal to 1? Yes, of course it is. This was true. It comes over here. In space, it is initialized to 1. Is space less than or equal to 10 minus 9? Remember, the value of row now is 9. So yeah, 1 is equal to 9. So it'll give 1 space. This was true, and it comes here. And this one, as for the previous two for loops, it'll print out the same way, the number of stars. And again, the value of row now goes to 8. So is 8 greater than or equal to 1? Yes, it is. So it'll check here. The space is obviously 1 over here. We have initialized to 1. Then 10 minus a row, which is 8 now. So 10 minus 8 is 2. Is 1 less than or equal to 2? It is less than 2, so it'll print out 1 space. Then we'll increment the space, it becomes 2. Is 2 equal to 2? Yes, it is. So it'll give out the second space, then it'll come to this loop, and normally it'll print out all the stars. So this way it goes from 10 to 1, providing even spaces. Now coming to this triangle, I'll just scroll down a bit. Okay, coming to this triangle, we need it from 1 to 10. We need the rows to have from 1 star to 10 star. Okay, so the logic is almost same itself, but the spaces here are, kind of inverted. So again, in this, the row is initialized to 1 from 1 star to 10 star. 1 star to 10 star, row is initialized to 1. This condition is true. 1 is obviously less than 10. It'll come here. We have initialized the space to 1, and again, is 1 less than 10 minus 1 is 9. Is 1 less than 9? Of course it is. So I'll leave away 9 spaces over here, and this condition was this loop was done. Then it'll come over here and print out just a single star. Similarly, it'll go from 1 to 10. Okay, so I hope this was, you understood everything in this and printed out these triangles. uh, Play with it, try different shapes and all, and so I guess that's it, guys. So this ends the level 1 of C tutorial, and in the next level we'll just do functions, pointers, and arrays. Okay, thank you guys for watching. If you have any doubt, please leave a comment below on the YouTube, and I'll see you guys in the next level. Bye.